What we've done along with the voters in the state is we've taken revenues from the severance tax, from the sales tax, and also from motor vehicle sales, and committed those to the state highway fund, and we also ended a diversion away from the state highway fund. So that's a huge investment that we've made in the future of our transportation infrastructure in the state. And I think that what you can expect to see next is a lot of focus on prioritizing the projects throughout the state and, frankly, accountability so that that large amount of revenue that we have committed to TxDOT is used efficiently and effectively. As Bix mentioned to you, there's a lot going on in Harris County and Brazoria County and Fort Bend County, and I would venture there's not a person in this room who never leaves Galveston County. And in fact, the driving may be pretty smooth until you cross over Clear Creek, and that's when the fun begins. So what we're going to hear from our panelists here in the next 40-45 minutes or so is an update on some of these projects, such as the Grand Parkway or the realignment of I-45, projects on 288 and on 290. And so if you like, our two panelists can come on up here. Combined, by the way, they have over 40 years of engineering experience with TxDOT, which is, I think, really impressive. We have Eliza Paul, a civil engineer who received her bachelor's degree from Imperial College of Science and Technology in London. She also holds a master's degree in civil engineering from the University of Houston. Currently, she is the deputy district engineer in the Houston district. At various times, she served in other capacities with TxDOT, including serving as the director of construction, area engineer in the Brazoria area office, assistant area engineer in Central Houston area office, field engineer at Southeast area office, and engineering assistant in the Houston district laboratory. So we're really thankful to have you and all the experience and expertise that you bring. Next to Ms. Paul is Varuna Singh. And he also has over 13 years of experience with TxDOT. His focus has been on procurement and implementation of comprehensive development agreement and design build projects, also interstate reconstruction and safety enhancement projects. He began his career up in the Fort Worth District's Weatherford area office, where he was the deputy project manager for a 13-plus mile project that was over $2 billion, and this was the North Tarrant Express project office. Then from 2012 to 2015, he was project manager of a $1.4 billion I-35 East managed lanes project. And this project, reconstruction, widens a 30-mile corridor in the North Texas region. At the present time, he is the director of the Houston District Alternative Project Delivery Program. I think we need longer titles and more acronyms in transportation. This program will include the Grand Parkway system, which is something that we've all been hearing about for a number of years. I think of that as the third concentric loop. I remember growing up, and 610 was the loop. Then we had the Beltway. Now we have, at some point to be completed, the Grand Parkway. There are also, within Harris County, going to be tolled lanes on Highway 288 and the or State Highway 249 extension project. So with that, we really look forward to hearing your presentations. And Eliza, if you'd like to begin, you can either you can sit or you can come up here, however you're most comfortable.
Thank you, Representative Bonnen. It's always rough to go after lunch, after a heavy, nice, good barbecue lunch, and after Congressman Weber's speech too. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit exciting, so you won't fall asleep. Okay? I'll try. Okay. This is just a little bit of index. It talks about, I'm going to go first, and then my colleague Varuna here, I'm going to talk about all the major project that's going on in the entire Houston district area. And my colleague Varuna, he's going to talk about all the design build type project that includes the Highway 99 to 88, or the concession design build type project. And some of you might ask the question, why are we always wanting to keep building more highways and keep building everything, and why are we asking for more money? You know, we learned a little bit this morning about how we prioritize all the projects and how we, where the transportation funding comes from. But this is a little picture here that shows the population of Texas. You know, it's if you look at the triangular area between Houston, Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin, and San Antonio, this is the triangular area where we're going to have the biggest increase of population in the state of Texas. And what they are also predicting, we already have 1.3 million more people moving to Texas from the year 2010 to 2013. And they are actually predicting that the population in Texas is going to go all the way up to 40 million people in the year 2050. Currently, we have about 26 million people here. So that's one of the reasons, you know, why we need more highway, why we need to build a little bit more. And this next diagram really just simply stating that in the year 2008, what we have is about 60% of uncongested roadway in the state of Texas. You know, in the year 2013, if you look at the biggest chunk of that pie chart, the uncongested roadway went down to 43%. But then if you look at the extreme congested roadway, it went up from 13% to 28%. So if with the pace we're going right now, this is the trend that we're looking at, that we're going to have more and more congested highway. Houston is ranked number 6 in the most congested city in the nation, and Dallas and Fort Worth is number 13, and Austin's number 17. So with all this congested roadway, we're going to lose about $10 billion in fuel costs, $2.1 billion in freight trucking moving costs. So that's one of the reasons, you know, why we need to maintain our roadway, we need to continuous upkeep of our roadway, and all the works that's going on. And I'm going to talk about some of the major projects that is ongoing in construction right now, and then I'm going to go into some of the projects that we are planning in the near future, okay? I always like this picture. You know, this is a diagram, a picture that shows the 290-610 interchange, and at the very left is the interchange in the year 1964. And you can see that in those days, we're just building a little bit piecemeal of the freeway. We don't actually have a whole complete interchange also. In the middle picture in 2009, that shows the condition of the freeway before we start the current construction job. And as you can see, almost every single lane is full of traffic. The one lane that doesn't have, that's the HOV, the direction. That's why there's a little bit of room in there. But all the lanes of the major freeway is filled with vehicles and cars. And the 2014, I should get an updated picture of what we have right now, the projects under construction of the major 290-610 interchange corridor. And this, the slide is a little bit busy, but this shows the entire 290 program in Houston. The 290 construction, as everybody knows, the project is from 610. It went all the way to Bakuro on the west side. And there's altogether, there are 13 active projects in this corridor, and the total construction cost of this corridor is $1.1 billion. We started this project several years ago, and we are hoping, we're anticipating we're going to complete the entire corridor. Some of them will finish in fall 2017, and the other projects that will finish a little bit later will be sometime in the summer of 2018. That's what we're projecting right now. And it's after I-10 construction, this is one of the biggest corridor reconstruction work that we have ongoing in the Houston district. Okay, the next project that we're going to talk about is I-69 or I-59, the conversion of US 59. 59 used to be a US highway, and we're converting that to I-69. It's just not a changing, it's basically changing the configuration from a US highway to a federal highway. And federal highway have a lot of more stringent requirements. You're required to have wider shoulder, you have to have less severe degree of curve, and all that requirement. So it's a huge project to convert the entire 153 miles of I-69 in the state of Texas. And 100 miles of it is already been converted. And all 70, we're happy to say that all 75 miles in the Houston district is already in the Interstate 69 standard or being constructed to meet the interstate standard. The two remaining projects in that corridor in the Houston district that we still have to complete the construction in order to get it up to the 69 standard is US 59 in Fort Bend County from FM 762 to Spur 10. It's a $135 million project, and we anticipated completion date in 2018. And we also recently, either last month or the month before, we led the project on Spur 10 that goes from 59 from Spur 10 to Wharton County line. So that's the very last piece of the conversion of this I-69 to I-69. The next two projects is over there also on I-45. As everybody say, I-45 never stopped construction in the States. As long as I've been in Houston area, I-45 is still under construction. These two projects is one of the realignment project. The first one is over there on I-45 northbound by U of H downtown, U of H Central Campus. What this project doing is essentially, when you're going up on 45 right now, currently, you go all the way to about where PS elevator before it splits, then US 59 split to the left, south split to the left, and US 59 north is you have an exit to the right hand side. What this project does is make that decision factor of going to 59 way back. We're going to have an exit further back on 45, where the people is going to decide if they want to go to 59, they get on this ramp, and then there's going to be a bridge that takes you to 59 north and south. That way you could be, then the remaining 45 that goes into the PS elevator will only be carrying only 45 traffic. And this will help my morning commute going from my house to the district office. And that's not the reason why this is built. This is a much needed project over the area, and it will help construction, and it will be a much safer, and eliminate that left side, left turn exit. Okay, and it's going to let that project, it says it's a little bit delayed, so it's going to be let fall 2016, before the end of the year, and we anticipate completion actually going to be about spring 2018. The next project is on I-45 at 610 over there by Gulfgate Mall, the area. And what we're doing in that, what we're doing over there is we are building the two missing direct connector that we never have in that interchange. The I-45 at 610 interchange is one of the oldest. As everybody knows, I-45, so we're kind of building some of the interchange piecemeal, and at that time the traffic count really does not justify building all the direct connectors in that intersection, and now there's two remaining that's left in the whole interchange. The two is 610 east to 45 north, and also 45 south to 610 west. Those are the two missing direct connectors. And when you miss a direct connector, what people have to do in order to try and enter and exit is they have to weave across the existing mainland to get over to the exit. So by building this direct connector, you take that movement away, so the traffic that wants to exit is going to go up on the direct connector. There will be no weaving traffic, and the people that continues on 45 or on 610 can go smoothly. So this project has already been let. The cost of it is $73 million, and we anticipate completion also in the spring 2018. Okay, those are the projects, all the projects that we have ongoing, under construction, either under construction or fixing to start construction very soon. And I'm going to go into some of the planning projects upcoming. And this page really just gives you some idea of the scope of the work that TxDOT is doing right now with the funding, additional funding that we're getting from the state legislature in the last legislative session. We were giving a lot of development authority before, when the funding was a little bit uncertain or limited. What we are allowed to do is only allowed to design a project that we have the funding on. We can develop the project, but as you know, trying to get a project from development stage all the way to construction, there's a time period that needs to be done. We have to go through the environmental process, which usually takes about a year or longer, and then we also have to go through the right-of-way process, which a lot of the time takes a year and about a year and a half. And then after that, we also have to relocate all the utilities before we can start all the construction job. So by having a definite funding source coming into TxDOT, we were able to plan a lot better, do a lot of these preliminary environmental, schematic, those type of study earlier so that we can help push some of these projects out on time. So we're working on 80 unfunded projects totaling about $2.5 billion. We're also working about 46 planning projects. This includes schematic and environmental underway, totaling about $6.6 billion. And the NEPA project is what we are talking about. We are working on all the engineers here know, we're working on all the environmental aspect of all these projects to try and get the EIS, the impact statement, the assessment done upfront so we can move on to the next step of buying the right way, getting utilities relocated and all that. Oops. The first project that we're going to talk about and that we are working on and design is 610 West Loop Interchange project. This is a project that we've worked on several years ago, but is already congested in this area. The main lane was never rebuilt under the old project. So this project's go in and reconstruct the 610 main lane, which is deteriorated to a point that we cannot really maintain it properly. It has to be reconstructed. And is also redoing a lot of the direct connectors of this project by changing a lot of the one-lane direct connector into two-lane direct connector. The other thing that this project does is also eliminate a lot of the weaving that I talked about. Imagine if you are heading to 610 South, coming out from the Galleria, trying to get on the entrance ramp from West Timer onto 610. If you want to go to 59 South, you have to weave over 2 or 3 lanes in order to get over to go on to 59 North, I'm sorry. So this project will take some of that movement, will be kind of like the other qualified project earlier. We will take the decision point out further back, and people who want to exit to 59, they can exit over there so there won't be a lot of weaving traffic. This project is ready to let in summer of 2017, so that's next year coming up, and the cost for this entire interchange project is $310 million. The next project that we want to talk about is the 610 Express Lane project. Imagine if I'm going from my office over there on I-10 in Washington and I want to just fly by and go down to Bel Air to have a meeting with Representative Sarah Davis or something like that. What this project enables us to do is get on this 610 Express Lane and bypass all the Galleria entrance and exit ramps and the weaving traffic, and it will take you from the I-10 North area over there on 610 down to 610 on the south end. So this is a 2-lane express lane that we're going to build in the middle of the 610 freeway right there, and it's 2 lanes in each direction, and it will take you from the north end, from the north side on I-10 all the way to the south side. And we're planning this project right now. It's estimated to cost $310 million, and we are estimated to let this project sometime after 2018. And 610 in the Galleria area, I think Quincy mentioned that this morning already, is #1 most congested highway in the entire state of Texas. The I-35 in Austin was #1 last year, but this year they were #2, we were #1. We kind of trade places back and forth. That's not the #1 that we want to shoot for usually. That's what we try. We'll be happy to give it away to Austin if we can help it. But this is the most congested section of freeway in the entire state. The next project that we talked about over here is on I-10 on the west side. And what we're doing here is adding an extra lane on I-10 heading west from Brookshire to Sealy. Basically, it's from FM 3538 over there in Sealy to FM 359. It's about 15 miles long project. And it's divided into a couple of projects. The first one is going to go from FM 359 to the Brazos River. And then we're also working on a project to rebuild the Brazos River Bridge. And also the next section will be from there to Sealy. And what we're doing is we do that a lot. If you go back, I tried to go back to Austin, some of the legislature do that a lot. On Sunday evening, trying to get out on I-10 to head out from Houston on that way, that road is completely congested. And the same coming back in town, when people go out of town and trying to come back on the weekend, and so it's really congested. So this is one of the projects that we are trying to do, is to add a lane, and we're adding it in the median in the middle of the freeway so that to eliminate buying a lot of additional right-of-way so we can progress with getting this project on track and work. The project is estimated to land in summer 2017.
Thank you very much. That was a tremendous amount of information, and it really is remarkable everything that's happening in our community and in the greater Houston area. I will say that just as a reminder, we get asked sometimes about congestion, and really for me, I think of this a lot strictly in terms of economic development, because when you become overly congested, that's when we start to see a reduction in the economic productivity in the community. And then ironically, as we build all this capacity, the utilization will often follow over a number of years. So just when we thought we caught up or got ahead, we'll see an increase in utilization and a return of the congestion. But that's a good thing, because that means that we have a community that's more robust and much economically more productive and stronger. So with that, I thank all of you for being here. I thank Matron and Bix Rathburn for allowing us to do this. And Bix, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you. You know, as the wise man James Earl Jones said, if you build it, they will come. So we hope to do that. One thing I did learn tonight, that my navigation system in my truck is just not smart enough to handle those drawings I had up there. When they start doing that, my truck won't allow me to feel out how to get anywhere. I do want to say thank you as we're closing out today. I want to give a special shout out to my commissioners. I see Commissioner Giusti sitting down here. Wave your hand. Joe, good to see you there. I see Commissioner Dinner, Commissioner Clark are still over there. Commissioner Holmes was here most of the day. I think he's still in the room. Judge Henry. There he is. Stand up. You're hiding. Stand up. Thank you, Stephen, for being here. Yeah. But I really appreciate the support they provided to this effort. Shout out to our chambers again for the work they did doing this, and of course our partners in this, Matron. Standing up on the stage, I want to do a last shout out to a couple of people. Zach Davidson, wave your hand, Zach. Zach's my assistant, works in my office. He and Kat Sanford were the key players that pulled a lot of this off. I just stand at the mic, they do all the work. That's the way you're supposed to do. Yeah, right there. And where's Kat? Kat, raise your hand. There's Kat in the back, all the way in the back. Thank you, Kat, for the work that you did to make this happen. We're already in planning for the 2017 summit. And with that, I'll turn it over to David. We've got a quick drawing that we will do, and we will be out of here. Thank you again to from all of our speakers.
Okay, so I'm the last guy. I just want to say thank you. We really had a great time here, great turnout, so we're looking forward to next year. And we've got a basket that we're going to give away now. This is donated by Big Thing Barfield, my company here. So, and then secondly, we're going to do the Yeti. So, Vic, you want to come draw this? I am not going to touch these cards. Definitely not. All right.
Can I reach in here and find mine?
You can. He looked.
I did. It's not mine.
Okay, read it. I don't have my glasses on. Blair Haney.
Blair Haney, yeah.
Blair Haney, are you here?
Yeah, with KCI.
KCI, come on up and get the basket. All right. All right, Fix.
Pull it out.
That's for the Yeti.
Here you go.
All right, check it. Yeah, oh, I have my glasses.
Check your glasses.
I
Good.
do. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Laura Baumgartner.
Laura.
You don't need a Yeti, do you? Do we need to do a redraw? Laura, you here?
College of the Mainland.
College of the Mainland. Okay, what I'm going to do, we're going to hold it for Laura, and we're going to make sure it gets to her. So, Laura, so with that, thank you guys. Remember PEs. I've got your stuff. We'll get you the PDHs. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.